So that was the Botcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And before I get out of here, I'm going to answer some of the comments. So, on the Night Walk vlog, why being a single virgin doesn't stop my happiness, Brace God says, I'm listening to this on the last day of 2022, yet it was by far the most enlightening thing I've heard this year, if not this decade. Goddamn. I know, I'm pretty good, huh? But I think it's required viewing for virgins in the world. Not saying that everybody can take to my personal philosophy, but I think that it is one that could possibly resonate with, you know, a lot of guys who, you know, maybe they feel like they have a void. Because really, I think what it comes down to is that a lot of guys have a void. And the sex drive is just so strong. And I think it's only natural to think that sex and being in a relationship is going to fill that void, you know. And I think if you address that void directly instead of expecting somebody else to fill it for you, and realize that, you know, you need to fill that void for yourself. You need to be complete and of yourself. I think that would help a lot of guys out to move forward. And you don't even have to take my path and, you know, opt out of dating. You know, you can find that completeness within yourself and then use that inner strength to face the world of dating and trying to find a relationship or something like that. And so DG1NR8 says on the Toxic Relationships episode of the Nightwall vlog, you taught the most black men long enough and the phrase child support will come up. I remember when I was growing up, just the thought of being on child support scared the shit out of me. That was one of the things that made me cling to my virginity, to be honest with you, or at least made me feel like being a virgin wasn't so bad. Like, just the thought of some stupid, crazy bitch is just hovering around your life and you owe them money every month for 18 years. Whether she's a good mom, a bad mom, a chaotic good mom, whatever. Like, you got to give her money every month. You got to deal with this bitch for 18 years. Like, that, horrifying. I would hate to be in that situation. And so on the Super Straight episode of the Botcast, T-Dot's Finest says, who said not wanting to date trans people is transphobic though? I've heard that said quite a few times. I don't see why you would be surprised given a lot of the goofiness and silliness surrounding these issues. But I've definitely heard, and just look at the backlash that happened after that whole Super Straight. It was a joke, but the fact that there was even like real backlash towards it shows that, you know, part of the issue with the whole transgender concept is that even though a lot of people might consider or go along with the idea that trans women are women, most people aren't going along with the idea that the guys that want to date them are heterosexual or straight. So, you know, part of the argument, or one of the arguments within the transgender community, is in defense of straight guys dating them, or guys dating them and being considered straight. And so it's like, well, if I'm a woman, why would you disqualify me as an option, basically? And so that's where that comes from. So T-Dot's Finest also says on the New Year episode of the podcast, hearing you give advice means a lot more from you because you're neat like me and I can relate to you. All those tips are really good. Also, what if nothing compels you except video and music? I think that you have to force yourself to find something. You gotta force yourself to find something else, and just experiment with different things. I would start with like the basics, like the basic hobbies. I mean, when you look at like content creators, for example, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Like some people are passionate about fighting games. And so like when I look at, and this is a great example, maybe you don't know these guys, but look up Gutex and Mike Ross. They were fighting game players who took their passion for fighting games and turned that into one of the most successful fighting game content channels on YouTube at one point. Now, Mike Ross left the ship, and then it kind of, it pretty much it pretty much fell. It pretty much fell down. It was downhill from there. But my point is, when you look at what Gutex and Mike Ross were able to do with their passion for fighting games, like they took their passion and said, I'm not just going to be a fighting game player. I'm going to take the world of fighting game, the fighting game community, and turn that into content. I think they did a documentary. They were doing interviews. They had the Excellent Adventures, which was like a funny show where they were playing games online. They were traveling. They were hosting events. Mike Ross ended up getting a job at Twitch. Gutex was just doing all kinds of shit. They had sponsors. And I'm just saying, you would have never thought that two guys could do what they did with their passion for fighting games. And you could take something completely unrelated to that and do the same thing, basically. If you could be passionate about ice cream and find a way to put the new ice cream on the map, or the ice cream community, whatever. Like you can, if you're passionate about something and you have enough vision and imagination, you can take it far beyond its base level. But I think part of it is just sort of experimenting and trying out different things. Like, I took a leap and got into personal fitness and health. Now, in my mind, I have quite a ways to go in terms of sculpting the body that I want and really getting in the shape that I want to. But with my physique now and with the work I put in, I could start taking that and making content out of it. Watch me do 100 push-ups straight, and this is my workout routine, and this is my diet. I could take my interest in fitness and turn that into something. Alpha Male Strategies, AMS, I think he was a personal trainer for a while. He was a fat fuck in somebody's basement, realized he had to get in shape, got in shape, became a personal trainer. So you see how you can take one thing and then allow it to lead you to another and then another. But it takes dedication. It takes finding those things, as well as having the creativity and imagination necessary to see how far you can take that vision, how you can take that seed and plant it and turn it into a whole tree, and then watching that tree bear fruit. So Sluggo Dog says on the Vegeta song, I can't believe this is 6 years old now. I remember finding this song, just Googling Super Saiyan Kush and finding this, and man, hotboxing the car playing this on the aux was a blast with friends back in high school a few years ago. I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy how time just like, I wouldn't say like time flies. I feel like time has just been going steadily, but it is kind of weird looking back at some of my older songs and realize like how long it's been. I don't feel like time just flew by, but it's just like, wow, like I got like old tracks from years and years ago. Like I was in my mid 20s then, like 23, 24 and shit, making these songs. And yeah, but the coolest thing about it to me is just the fact that people really listen to these songs. That's the best thing about it to me, that the fact that people really listen to it. A lot of guys rap and you get your friends to listen to it, you get your family to listen to it, but they listen to it because they know you. The fact that somebody like you listened to it not knowing who I was, you just found it randomly, like that's the type of thing that sustains me. You know, even during the time with my YouTube channel being down, you know, people wonder how I feel about, you know, my YouTube channel being down and not having the same views. You know, that's not gonna stop me from making music, because I know it's motherfuckers like you out there. I know it's guys like you out there that really listen to my music and really look forward to when I put out projects. So I really appreciate that. So T-Dot said on the Oreo Man Botcast episode, I love how positive you are, Marco. Really makes me shed tears. I wish to be like you, man, but I am weak. Oh boy. You know, I was weak too at one point, but I just took the necessary steps to get better. It's really that simple. I think the fact that you recognize that your power level is pitiful right now, that's the first step, you know, and because I was there too, just recognizing that I'm not really living up to my potential like I need to, you know. But I think just because you're weak now doesn't mean that you can't be strong later in life. But it takes time. It takes time. It takes serious effort. You got to take yourself out of your comfort zone, and you got to push yourself. And you got to think. You got to reflect on the type of man that you want to be. And you got to have a good, deep connection with yourself and what you believe your potential is. I think that even during my earlier years, regardless of everything that I've been through, regardless of how weak I was at the time, I knew I could do better. I knew I had more potential. And I think that's where it all started for me. If you can look within yourself and see potential to be something better, then you have something to strive for. And then when you strive for that and you reach that or get close to it, then you start to see that you can do even more from there. Like, okay, I went from level 1 to 3. How about level 6? And then how about level 10? And how about level 20? And this applies to different aspects of your life. One aspect is fitness. I remember when I could barely do 20 push-ups. Then I worked myself up to 25, 30, 40, 50. Now I can do 100 push-ups straight, you know. But so, and pretty much most areas of life sort of work like that, where you start off weak and not really knowing how to do shit. But if you take it one step at a time and you start reaching those new levels, inevitably you want to push even further. And as you push and push and push, your self-esteem grows and your belief in yourself grows. And, you know, the reason why I feel so good about myself now is because I took those necessary steps. But it all started with reflection and believing that I had more potential than what I was putting out and that I needed to reach that. That's where it all started for me. If you can look within yourself and see the potential to be better, then work towards that. And as you work towards that, your self-belief grows, your self-esteem grows, your self-love grows, and your life gets better. So, and Gellum Gaming says on the Mobile Suit Gundam C anime review, your video is good, but you aren't seeing the subtext. The reoccurring themes are social commentary, using people, disposing of them, the numerous conflicts both in reality and the hearts of the characters. And he goes on and says, I suggest Gundam 00, Charge Counter-Strike, Mobile Suit Gundam Endless Waltz, Unicorn. Gundam Build Fighters and Build Fighters Try are somewhat more lighthearted, but great as well. I saw 00. I did not like 00. I really did not like 00 Gundam. I think I've seen Char's Counter Strike, but it might have been a ways before. And Gundam Endless Waltz and Unicorn. I'm not sure if I've seen those. I'm gonna check my list again because I've seen quite a few of them. But you know how when you start watching anime back to back to back, you kind of forget them. But I'm gonna look into those and see which ones I haven't seen yet, because you know I've already done like several Gundam reviews, and goddamn if I ain't seen like half the series. But I'll take those recommendations to mind. But I think as far as like the themes that I might have missed, you know, I try to put as much into the anime review as I can, but I can't put like every little possible, you know, little theme from each anime into it, because it would just go on and on and on. I tend to just kind of cover the ones that stand out the most to me. I mean, I can see where those themes were in anime, but I try to focus mostly on the ones that I thought were the most significant. Or maybe I just completely missed it. Either way, thanks for the comments. So, I Love Anne Frank says on the OCM Botcast episode 1, damn, that's old school, the closest I came to getting laid. Watching these old podcasts and you put into words everything I feel, thanks for that. Especially that thing about your mom being okay with you being neat because you don't have any baby mamas. I'm telling you, it's different in the hood. It's different. We just have a different standard. We just have a different standard, man. If you a young black man that can stay out of trouble and not have baby mamas and baby mama drama and shit like that, you know, your mom's she's gonna be more lenient with you, because I think black moms, as their sons get older, obviously they want you to be more, you know, successful and whatnot. But you gotta understand, man, like they're used to dealing with a lot of shit. The men they've dated, the men they've been married to, the men in their lives have been, I mean, terrible. You guys seen the dentist episode. So that's the type of shit my mom is used to dealing with. Having a son who just fucks off by himself, doesn't get in the way for the most part, isn't rude, isn't some asshole, isn't disrespectful. I'll take out the trash, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do chores, and you know, I help my niece with her homework and walk her to the bus stop. And you know, the fact that I'm not bringing unnecessary turmoil and drama into the house, it makes me not having a job not as bad as it would be probably in a different community, you know, because I think my mom is just, black moms are used to dealing with so much bullshit from men. If you can just not bring more bullshit to your mom's life, she'll love you to death for that. She really will. So T Dot's Finest says on the OCM Botcast, Happy Wafu Day, how did you get to the point where you can pinpoint exactly why you're depressed? I felt like I wasn't exercising enough, but even with exercise, I feel like shit. It's been a month of consistent workouts, so maybe not a lot of time. It feels like there's a lot of factors contributing to my unhappiness, and it's really foggy. How did you get to the point where you can pinpoint exactly? I mean, that's hard to say because everybody's situation is different. You know, I feel like I got to do like a whole podcast on this. I can't even really properly cover it right now. I'm going to take this comment and I'm going to remember it because I got to go in depth. I got to go in depth on depression and suicidal thoughts, because I've been there. You guys know I've been there, but if I'm really going to lay it out, I gotta sit down and think deep, because I haven't been in that zone in so long. I gotta really sit down and reflect on that period of my life to give you guys the proper context and experience and step by step what I think led me to that point, how I got out of it, etc., etc. I think that I gotta really go deep within and prepare for that. So I'm gonna keep this comment in mind and just kind of use it as the basis for another podcast for a later date. But that was the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that.